What's the best and the worst thing you've found so far about living in London? Have you ever encountered any celebrities? If so, what's your experience with them? What is your biggest goal in life? Where else in the world would you like to live? Do you think that social media is ruining our mental health? Will you ever teach Polish to us? It's been a year since my last AMA video, and I figured why not do another one a year later when I live in a different country and in a different city and my whole life looks completely different, but everything is still the same at the same time. So yeah, let's dive into the video and let's talk, let's chat, let's just sit down, grab some non-alcoholic drink. This is a lemonade and I'm gonna be sipping it in between the questions. So let's go. Let's get started. Are you gonna settle down in London? Well, I'm in London now, but something that you don't know is that I'm filming this video on my last day in London, and I am going to explain everything in a completely different video, in a separate video, but for the time being, no, I'm not going to settle down in London. And in the future, do I see myself living in London for the rest of my life? I don't know. I love London and I want to live here. I want to be here. I want to work here. I want to have a house here, an apartment here. Like, I want to build my life here. But I can't tell you that in 20 years, maybe even in 10 years, nothing will change and I will want to stay in London. Maybe I will want to live somewhere else. Maybe my career will take me somewhere else. Who knows? But for now, I want to be here. I'm not staying here. I'm going back to Poland. I hate this, but that's the situation. But I don't know. Like, truly, I don't know what's going to happen to me. But London is still in my heart and I'll be back before I know it, before you know it. London, I'll be back before you know it, so. What are your favorite kinds of books to read? I love reading fiction and nonfiction books, like right away. Whenever I read something that is nonfiction, let's start with that. I read self-help books, self-development books, and I usually reach for those that I know will help me specifically because I've been reading so many self-help books for so long that I already know what I'm looking for. So I either read those, or if I reach for fiction, I sometimes have trouble finding something that I like, but the books that I enjoy the most are usually the books by the same author. I'm quite loyal when it comes to being a fan of someone's writing, and maybe I'll just tell you my favorite authors. So growing up, my favorite author was J.K. Rowling, and later in my teens, Nicholas Sparks. Then I discovered Haruki Murakami. I like romance novels. I like magical realism novels. I like mystery books. Sometimes I like YA books. It just depends on my mood, really. And I need to be in the mood for something. I'm quite bad when it comes to genres because I like to explore, but at the same time, I still stick to my comfort zone when it comes to books. Is London expensive? Yes, objectively, yes. Subjectively, it's not when you earn good money and when you have a job. And just like with anything in life, if you want to live your life and not spend a lot of money on things, then you're going to gravitate towards places that are a bit cheaper. And if you prefer to spend more money on things like apartments, rent, life, transportation, food, then you're going to be okay in the more expensive places. And for me, I'm okay in London. Like, it's okay for me to live here, but I know that this is an expensive city and it is one of the most expensive cities in the world. So yes, it is expensive, but you can make it work and you can live here and live quite affordably if you know how to do it and if you want to do it. How are you feeling? Currently, that's how I'm feeling. I'm moving back to Poland without any plan. Like, I don't know where I'm going to live. I don't know what's going to happen to me, and this is my last day in London, so I'm quite nostalgic and I'm feeling all the feels. So yeah, that's how I feel. I'm hopeful and sad and emotional, and I'm okay. Like, deep down, I'm okay. I'm feeling fine, but I'm allowing myself to feel whatever comes up and whatever wants to be felt, whatever emotion wants to be felt. So that's how I'm feeling today. Thank you so much for asking. Is it true what people say about English food? I mean, is it bad? I haven't really eaten like the traditional dishes, and I haven't really eaten them ever. So I can't really tell you that like in terms of the cuisine, that the British cuisine is bad, but some of the products or like some of the things that I've eaten here are not really that good. And that's something that I can already tell you about when I answer the next question, which is the things you really miss about living in Poland. And one of the things is food, but it's not the Polish food, it's good quality, tasty food. Because here's the thing, you can go to any store here in London and you can find anything you want and you can cook whatever you want, and that's okay. Like cooking for yourself is going to be okay. But when it comes to ordering in or just going out to eat, I don't know, like maybe it's because I'm vegan and I'm going to vegan places and not all vegan places are now open, and most of the vegan places that I've been to, not only this year but that I went to when I visited London before, most of them are like vegan junk food places. Of course, like I'm not talking about all of them, but most of them, and I don't really like junk food. So for me, I don't know, like the quality of food here is okay, but it's not really so tasty. Like we haven't had really good food here, and that's one of the things that I miss about living in Poland, because the best pizza here in London, in all of the UK, Purezza, I remembered it to be very, very good, but it tastes so bland compared to my favorite pizza place in Wrocław, which serves vegan pizza, and oh my god, I miss it so much, and I miss just so many vegan food places around Poland, so that's one of the things that I miss. And if you want to know what differences I found between living in London and living in Poland, but in Wrocław specifically, then you can click right here and you'll see what I discovered in a different video that I made. That doesn't make sense. You'll watch a video about it. That's what I wanted to say. But one of the things that I miss is the food. And yeah, that's basically it. Like if London had the places that I love in Warsaw, then I would be so happy when it comes to the food choices here. What is your favorite bridge? I'm assuming you're asking about London, but I'm also going to answer about Wrocław, because in one of my videos I talked about the fact that Wrocław has 100 bridges. So in London, my favorite bridge is the Albert Bridge. I just love it. It's so beautiful. And in Wrocław, my favorite bridge has to be the Sand Bridge, because it's in one of my favorite areas and it's so tiny and cute, and I just love it. Maybe even the Tumski Bridge. I'm not really sure, but either the Sand Bridge or the Tumski Bridge. I love them both. How long you and your boyfriend have been together? We've been together for 8.5 years, and he is the love of my life. He is my partner in crime, my travel buddy, my everything, and I love him so, so much. And to answer any of your questions that you might have after my answer, we're not planning on getting married anytime soon, and we're not fans of children. I mean, I don't want to have children, and neither does he, so we are not going to have children. So you don't have to ask about that in the future, so you already know. So thank you. What is your biggest goal in life? There are two things that I could tell you. One of them would be like my biggest goal that I wanted to achieve in terms of like my bucket list, but I think I'm going to film a video on that, so if you want to find out, you can watch that video. But just in general, I think that my biggest goal is to live my life according to me. I want to live my life in complete freedom and without any restrictions from the society, from my family, from anyone, from just like anything. I just want to be free, and I want to live a life that I'm proud of and that excites me and that is just a reflection of who I am. And I want to build this dream life for myself, and I know that I'm already living it. So I'm kind of like living my biggest goal. I already achieved it, and I'm achieving it every single day. So that's my like lifelong goal. But if you want to watch my video on my bucket list, you can find it somewhere here. I don't know if I already filmed it, but I want to, so stay tuned. Do you think that social media is ruining our mental health? Yeah, I do. And I know that I'm a content creator, and that's quite hypocritical of me to say that, but I believe that. I don't really spend as much time on my social media as I used to, and that's something that I'm really conscious of and something that I'm really monitoring. I don't really want to live my life on social media, and this is something that I noticed during the pandemic. I know that it's something that does affect me, and I know that it affects many people. I know how harmful it can be, and I know that I used to do so many things that I didn't even know were detrimental to my mental health when I was younger, and even 2 years ago I was still doing these things, but now I'm so aware of everything, and I think therapy has helped me with that as well. So I think social media can ruin our mental health, but we can take steps and take action towards not allowing it to completely control everything that we do and everything we think and everything we say to ourselves and to each other. Cheers to that. Where else in the world would you like to live? Oh my goodness, so many places. I would like to live in the US, maybe somewhere on the West Coast, not necessarily like LA, but maybe California, maybe Washington or Oregon. I would love to live in the US one day. I would love to live in France and Italy, maybe have a house there or like a house in each country. That would be amazing. But there are many places in which I would like to live. But because London has always been at the top of my list, I'm now kind of like exploring what I want to do and where I want to live. And that's why I said that I don't really see myself settling down in London, because I know that there are so many places in which I could live, and yeah, so many places. But these ones like the US, France, Italy are the ones that I think are the closest to my heart right now. So we'll see. Your favorite TV shows? My favorite TV shows are like, if you ask me like what do you watch the most, I rewatch TV shows religiously. So in terms of the number of times that I rewatched something, that would be Gossip Girl, Sex and the City, The Office, The OC, Cold Case when I was growing up. And my recent favorites are Dark, Schitt's Creek. I've been watching Schitt's Creek for the past week and I've been loving it, but please don't give me any spoilers. So I think these are my favorite TV shows, and whenever I feel bad, like something bad is happening in my life, I just go back to the TV shows that I used to watch, and I'm not really watching many new TV shows, and I like rewatching the old ones, and these are my favorite ones. I know it may sound boring, but that's just who I am. I'm a fan of sticking to the things that I love, and sometimes exploring something new, but not necessarily all the time. What do you know for sure? I know you love Oprah. Yes, I do love Oprah. What I know for sure is that everyone is capable of creating their own dream life. And this is something that I've known for many years. This is something that I've been doing, and I know that everyone, literally everyone, is capable of creating the life that they want and living the life that they want. And I'm a living proof of that. So that's what I know for sure. Go after your dreams. Like, what do you have to lose? Like, literally, what do you have to lose? And I know that we can make so many excuses for ourselves. I know that we can find so many things that are wrong about us, or that there are so many limitations that are holding us back because of who we are and where we came from and where we grew up and our socioeconomic situations. Like, I know all of that, and you can change your life and you can really create a life that you want. And that is something that I would say to the whole world. And I'm saying this to the whole world because now the whole world might be watching this video. So here we go. Go after your dreams, because you never know when you're going to die. And that's something that I constantly remind myself of. I have no idea when I'm gonna die, so I might as well live the life that I want right now. Do you think one day the world will be almost totally vegan? Because I believe that. Yes, I believe that. I can't really see any other way for us. There is no other way for us to survive than to go completely vegan as a civilization. So yeah, I believe that, and I hope that everyone makes the transition as soon as possible, because I want to live my life here. I don't want to disappear. I don't want to live in a world that is just doomed because of the things that we do to the planet and to the animals and to each other. So yeah, I believe that the whole world will be vegan one day. And you can start today. If you are not vegan, you can go to the description box and you can watch any of the documentaries that I listed there, so that we can all live a longer and happier life here on Earth. You're welcome. How is the atmosphere there in London? Is it easy to find vegan food stores? It's not about the vegan food stores, it's about the vegan products in regular stores. So whenever you go to any store, you will find so many vegan products that it's insane. Like, it's truly vegan heaven when it comes to the products. So you'll find beans and chickpeas and rice and potatoes everywhere. But if you're looking for vegan replacements like meat replacements, milk replacements, cheese replacements, chocolate and dessert replacements, you will find everything in every single store in a vegan option. So I'm not really shopping in vegan stores here because there are so many things to choose from in regular stores. So that's incredible about London. You can find anything you want anywhere. Is it easy to be vegan in London? Social life, restaurants, etc. Yes, there are many vegan places. There are many vegan stores. I'm not really sure what to tell you about the social life. And if you live in London or you have been to London and you want to talk about like what it's like to be a vegan in London in terms of the social life, please let us know in the comments, because I can't tell you anything about it, but there is definitely a social life here. It's just I haven't had one. What's the best and the worst thing you found so far about living in London? The best thing? Being here. Literally just being here, being in London, being in the city that I personally always wanted to live in. That's just the dream come true, and just waking up and seeing London outside of my window is just the perfect thing. Also, I love just the vibe, the architecture, the fact that you can find anything here. Of course, now it's locked down, so it's not like everything is open, but it's very easy to find everything. And if you want to know what I don't really appreciate about living in London, you can watch my Wrocław versus London video, because I talked about the things that kind of bother me. I haven't really found anything that is so bad yet, because I've been living in my apartment like 24/7. I haven't really gone out that many times. So yeah, I've got nothing to tell you, and maybe after I've lived here for longer than 4 months, and maybe after I've lived here during normal times, I will be able to tell you what I don't really like. But now it's just been like, yeah, I've been loving it here, so. Have you ever encountered any celebrities? If so, what's your experience with them? Yes, I have. I am the kind of person that likes meeting their heroes and likes reaching out to celebrities, YouTubers. Like, I love that. But one experience that I never talked about online, and I will never really talk about it in detail, was that I used to teach a celebrity, a Polish celebrity. I used to teach her English, and that was back in 2018, and that was one of the most recognizable Polish celebrities, like internet celebrities. Like, if I told you her name or just like her nickname, if you're Polish, you probably heard about her, but I'm not going to tell you that. But I used to teach her, and this experience was very like different. Like, I was starstruck for the first week, and it was just weird for me to realize that I'm actually like teaching a person that I only watched online, or that was my inspiration for so many years. And it was challenging for me, but later we found like a balance between teaching and just like chatting about life too in English, because I was teaching her English. Also, if you're interested in working with me and you're not a celebrity, you can check out my courses. The links are in the description. But she was so nice. She was lovely. She was just like everything that I always thought she was, even though she was involved in many scandals or just like people talked shit about her. I loved her. She was sweet and genuine and just very nice. And I think that the other celebrities that I met in my life, not so many, I never really got so close to a celebrity as I got with this student of mine, but other celebrities that I met were always very nice, kind, genuine. That's something that I want to create for my viewers and for anyone who reaches out to me, because I now realize that some of you may see me as a person who is like out there as an influencer or just like a person you look up to, because I know how special it is to meet someone you like and meet someone that you follow online and realize that they are actually nice and kind. So yeah, I've had so many encounters with celebrities and all of them have been amazing. And the last question that I want to answer is, do you have any tips to learn Polish, and will you ever teach Polish to us? And the answer is I won't ever teach you Polish, but I have tips. And if you want to learn Polish and you want to ask me how to learn it, I have a course called How to Learn Languages. And one of the workshops that is a bonus training to this course is a workshop in which we talked about Polish. So if you ever want to learn Polish, but you don't know how and where, you can just check out my course. But I'm not going to teach Polish on my channel or in any other form. Like, I'm not going to create a Polish course because that's just not something that I like. And why would I create something that I don't want to create? I want to talk about the things that I want to talk about, and I'm not sure I would be the best Polish teacher. So if you want to learn Polish on your own, you know where to find the course. And if you ever want to learn the advanced grammar of English with me or the American accent in English with me, I have courses on that as well. But for now, that was the last question. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you ever have any more questions to ask me, I'm going to come back to my Patreon because I've taken a break and we have a monthly AMA segment there. So you can check out my Patreon because we're going to go back to our monthly AMA videos very, very soon. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like it and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and follow me on Instagram if you want to see more of my daily life. And I will see you in my next video. Bye bye.